Welcome back. In life, there are some situations that we can get ourselves involved in that there is no coming back from. Certain decisions that we make that have a lasting effect that can't be changed no matter what we decide to do. And sadly, this particular segment that we're about to get into is an example of just that.
All right, a heartbreaking update tonight. A Memphis man is charged this evening with the murder of his 2-day-old daughter and the mother of the child.
Yes, truly a heartbreaker and a heartbreaking ending also to a search that began early this morning for the missing newborn. WREG's Melissa Moon, she joins us now live with more on why this is now, Melissa, a recovery effort.
So there we have it. Just an overview of what this particular segment is about. Mr. Brandon Isabelle is charged with shooting his ex-girlfriend to death and then doing away with his daughter, which to me is absolutely an egregious thing even to think about. Because when you think about the relationship between a father and his daughter, it's a special relationship. But to add to that, his daughter is only 2 days old. So what could possibly have been the motive behind this egregious and heinous action? Well, as the video goes on, let's see if we can piece it together, okay? Let's keep going.
Well, the father, Brandon Isabelle, is locked up tonight. He is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. Police say evidence suggests the baby is dead. Relatives of little Kennedy Hoyle were holding out hope the newborn would be found alive.
I'm just praying that she ain't hurt. I just want her to come home. That's all I want. I just want my baby to come home.
A statewide Amber Alert was issued for the 2-day-old baby after her mother, 27-year-old Danielle Hoyle, was found shot to death beside her car at Sedgwick Street and Levi Road in Whitehaven. This morning, police began searching along the Mississippi River on Mud Island, but haven't said what led them there. Then late this afternoon, they discovered a pink and gray car seat near a dumpster at the Walmart in Whitehaven. Family members confirming it belonged to Kennedy. Police say they had...
So now, the evidence is starting to mount up that Kennedy may not be alive. And this is a dreadful situation to talk about, because even if there is a difficulty between Mr. Isabelle and Ms. Hoyle, the mother and the father of Kennedy, what did that have to do with Kennedy? Why in this situation did she have to lose her life? Why did anybody have to lose their life in this situation? What was the motive? I'm still asking, what was the motive behind why he would do a thing like this? Now, don't get me wrong, the motive is in no way going to excuse this man. Whatever punishment that's levied against him, I feel is deserved. I'm not judging him, but what I am saying is that there has to be some underlying motive, something that's animating this particular individual that he would do something like that. The baby is 2 years old. Miss Hoyle had just delivered the child. She was in no position to struggle, to fight any of those things, to protect herself. She was in no position to do that. And of course, you know that Kennedy wasn't. She was a 2-year-old baby. This is a rather heart-wrenching situation. It really is. But let's keep going.
Evidence suggesting Kennedy is dead, but have not found her body.
You deserve to die.
You didn't have to hurt her.
Early on, Danielle's loved ones, including her mother, believed the baby's father, Brandon Isabelle, was responsible for Danielle's death and the infant's disappearance.
You didn't want to take care of your child. You didn't want to be in her life. You should have left her alone.
Now, police just released new information. They say that Brandon Isabelle confessed to shooting and killing Danielle Hoyle. He told investigators he threw the baby in the water off the Mud Island boat ramp and threw the weapon used to shoot Hoyle into the Mississippi River. Police are still investigating a motive. Live in the studio, Melissa Moon, WREG News Channel 3.
So first of all, I would like to send my condolences to the Hoyle family. It's absolutely in order. And I tend to agree with their mother, with the mother of the family. If you didn't want the responsibility of raising the child, if that was too much for you, then that didn't mean that you had the authority to take this child away from those that loved her. It's really difficult to talk about. And I know you can tell from the way that I've been expressing myself throughout this whole video. This is not an example of what a man should be. Absolutely not. I stand on the side of men when they're right, but I'm absolutely going to condemn them when they're wrong. And this is not how this situation should have been handled. No matter what was said on each side, violence is never the answer. Violence is never the answer. And so when I look back over the video, there are a few things that I want to bring to your attention. First of all, I want to bring to your attention the fact that Miss Hoyle had just had a baby 2 days ago when this incident took place, where she lost her life, where she was murdered by Mr. Isabelle. And so she had a 2-year-old daughter, Kennedy, and Kennedy also lost her life. But what's so egregious about it to me is that this man shot Miss Hoyle to death. It would seem that he had no thought process in the matter. It would seem that he had no remorse about the things that he had done. He shot this woman to death. And then he took Kennedy, poor Kennedy, 2-year-old baby, and threw her in the Mississippi River. Now, there's not a lot of times that I will make a judgment like the one I'm about to make, but if there is nothing else that you can say to describe this particular individual, evil is the word that comes to mind. Evil. Because you have to be an evil individual to carry out these kinds of acts. Now, whether or not the man has a mental problem, or if there was a sudden break, or regardless of what it may be, the actions still merit the label of being evil. And if this man has no remorse for what he has done, then he is evil. See, this is the reason why I talk a lot about this subject. I make it known that I'm an advocate for 2-parent households. I'm an advocate for individuals going to get therapy if they need some help, which we all do from time to time. But the reason why I advocate for these things is because any person that you enter into a relationship with, and I don't mean a sexual relationship, but any person that you enter into a relationship, any person that you allow to come into your life, you need to know who these people are. You need to know them. You need to have been watched this individual carefully enough to know what they're capable of. Right? And in many situations, it would be wise to sit down and talk to family members of individuals who you decide that you're going to court for marriage. You need to sit down and have a thorough conversation with these individuals, because you need to know if there are illnesses that run in this family that may cause a difficulty for you in your relationship. You need to do that. And you need to especially be careful about who you allow into your life. Miss Hoyle, it's a sad situation, but was this gentleman someone who was given to fits of anger? Was he an individual who was known for self-control, or was he known to be a hothead? Was he known to be driven by things that resulted from emotional turmoil? Was that the way that this individual conducted himself on a day-to-day basis? If it is, then she would have been wise to avoid this kind of man. Because you see, in layman's terms, if he was emotionally driven, then that meant that he was capable of anything. And I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying that in general, anybody, man or female, you need to be very, very intentional about who you allow to come into your life, because who knows what they're capable of. You have to protect yourself. And one of the best ways to protect yourself is to recognize self-destructive patterns in individuals and avoid them if you have to. Everyone that you meet, everyone that you come in contact with does not deserve to be close to you. They don't deserve to be in the inner circle, as it were, because these individuals could be a detriment to you. So what I'm saying is what I'm always saying. Please protect yourself. Please. In a situation like that, you had 2 tragedies, but 3 lives were lost. 2 tragedies, the murder of Kennedy, the murder of Miss Hoyle. But I mentioned 3 lives were lost because Mr. Isabelle's life is ruined. And it's ruined because of a fit of anger. It's ruined because he couldn't look at a situation and realize that the most important thing in this situation is the ability for his daughter to grow up with both her mother and her father. This is not manhood. This is what I am expressly against. And so, as I mentioned, condolences to the family. I want to say that again, because this is most definitely a gut-wrenching situation, man. I can only imagine the sorrow and the pain that they're feeling. But I want to wish them well. And I want to make sure that in this video, man, we highlight the fact that this needless violence has to stop. Because if it doesn't, as a community, we're going to continue to suffer the way that we're suffering now. There was a lot to take in, man. But like I mentioned, please protect yourself at all times. Be aware of where you are and what you're doing. And be aware of what the individuals around you are doing. I hope I never have to report on another one like this again. All right, y'all. Be easy.